I'll invite our panelists. Please come forward. We have Madam Mary Molili. She is the Executive Director of UBA Bank, Kenya. Let us appreciate her until she takes her seat. And then you have Mr. Kamal Budabati. He is the CEO of Litro Super App. I'm sure, if not all of us, most of us have used Litro Super App when we sometimes we want to rush somewhere and we don't want to drive. And then last but not the least, we have Mr. George Washiori. He is the CEO of Optiven Group. We appreciate him until he gets here. Let me have some mic, please. Take a second. So I will engage them in a conversation for a couple of minutes. Like my colleague mentioned, over the last couple of years, COVID really changed how we do business, changed our businesses, transformed industries. Immediately after that, we got into an electioneering period, which was somehow chaotic. And I'm sure almost everyone, if not all of us, were affected in one way or the other. And then we have the change in the leadership of our country. And definitely, every time there is a transition, there is change in how things are done. And definitely that affects businesses. So I'll pose the first question to all my panelists. You have seen all these transformations going on, COVID, politics, change of administration. As you share a little bit more about yourself, you could tell us, what are some of the practical ideas that you've been applying in your business to ensure there is consistent growth in the organization that you run during this period? We'll start with you, Mr. George.
Well, thank you, Kimani, even for organizing this fabulous event where the movers, the business people, the entrepreneurs gather here. Because at the end of the day, this nation is going to be built by business people, entrepreneurs, and those in career. And this is a very humble forum whereby people connect. I was so happy to see my good friend, the CEO for Almond, been friend for over 20 years. And it's a good forum. And my name is George Washiuri. I work with a company called Optiven, and for 23 years, we have been empowering communities, we have been transforming communities, and we say that our vision is to be the champions of socio-economic transformation. And what we do is that we change people's lives. And yes, over this period, we are talking about VUCA environment. You know, the business environment is volatile, is uncertain, is ambiguous, and for an entrepreneur or a business person, you cannot do the thing the same way you used to do them in the year 2022. You must think differently. And for us at Optiven, we were very worried when we saw companies closing over COVID. And for us, instead of closing, we actually hired 200 more people over COVID. It's the time we did most of the philanthropy work, especially for our communities. And we have continued this growth, and I attract this to the kind of leadership. Somebody told me that everything rises and falls on leadership. When the leadership is weak, definitely the companies goes down. And one of the things I've discovered that over that problematic period, as a leader, is for you to inspire, to create hope to your teams, so that they are not discouraged. It's your responsibility, our responsibility as leaders, to cast the vision. What is Optiven there for? You cast the vision so well that when people go to work, they don't go to work because of salary. They go to work because they want to change the communities. They want to create a difference. And definitely as a leader, you must be focused. You can't do everything. For us at Optiven, we don't do houses. We do value addition on land. We do it so well that we are the best, we are number one. Mahiga Homes does houses. They do so well. You can't do everything as a leader. And one of the things that we did when we were younger, We wanted to be Jerome Kamau, doing everything. And the people who know my story, I did 50 businesses that collapsed. So when I mentor people, I tell people, do something and you do it so well. That way, you conquer the market. You conquer the challenges. You conquer the uncertainties. You conquer the ambiguity in the environment. Someone told me that people make money when there are challenges. Right now, don't join people saying there is inflation. Don't join people saying the interest rate by the banks is now higher. We can be able to thrive regardless of the challenges that we are facing currently as a nation, as Africa, as a group. The other day, as I conclude, I saw these people from Dubai. They used to get wheat from Ukraine. Now they are planting wheat in the desert. And I said, hey, as Kenyan leaders, shame on us. We are complaining there's no food, yet we have fantastic soil. So let's continue thinking differently as leaders, and we can be able to do things very differently. That's why we are here to sharpen one another, to do things in a better manner. It is possible and it is doable. We have what it takes to ensure that we change the environment once and for all. Thank you, Kimani.
Thank you very much and good morning, everyone. I think I'm the only one on a salary here. I think I'm interacting with the entrepreneurs, but I think it's a good thing because it rubs on you. And one of the mantras that we drive where I sit is to develop entrepreneurs. Yes, you're working for a salary, but you're thinking like an entrepreneur. And once you put yourself in those shoes, you're able to develop solutions that speak to George, to Kamal, to Sam. You know, I'm just mentioning some of my customers that I've seen in the room, that I've seen them grow over the years. Kamal is one of them, and I can see Sam somewhere attached at the corner, and also colleagues in the banking industry. I've been in the banking industry for close to 20 years, and I think I've seen close to 6 changes in the industry since when I began my career as a young girl from university. And some of them you've seen. We've even seen some of the banks shut down, and we've seen some of the banks grow stronger. And that begs the question, what did these banks do right? Or what did these other banks do wrong in terms of how they were leading in terms of those transformations? And if I can mention some of them, when I began my career, banking then was traditional. People would only go to the banks where either their parents were banking or where they found themselves being in. Then we saw banks coming into the market with different value propositions, and people now were aware of what banks were offering and were able to compare in terms of the products which each of the banks was offering. Then now we had the escalation of interest rates. We had twice. The worst one was when we saw impact on Imperial, and we saw also Chess, and we saw what the thinking of the customers, what customers went to. Customers were running to where they felt safer, or where they felt that the value proposition, or where they construed that the leadership was strong enough to safeguard what they had in the banks, or the products that they were already enjoying. Then COVID came, and COVID brought also its own challenges. We know that banks work up to Saturday, long hours, to serve customers. And again, we had to change. How do we serve our customers? You are locked, say in Kisumu. If I have branches only in Nairobi, does it mean that I won't serve you? And we had to come up with products and services that spoke to these needs of the customers. And I remember jokingly telling somebody that our digital uptake before COVID, especially in some of the markets, and I mentioned some of them like Mombasa, areas like Kisumu, were very low. But with just one action, COVID, we saw those numbers grow in drops. People didn't know how to use mobile phones, didn't know how to use internet banking. Even now, checks are almost getting an extinct product because people have moved to this new way of products. Then came elections. We know what happens during elections years, and we know from the entrepreneurs, especially the people in trade or in quotations, you want to buy more to hold because you're scared of lockdowns or disruptions in the supply chains. Again, we saw the issue of the dollars. it's still there. What is happening again? If you look at our balance of payments, the current account balances have dropped to less than 4 months because of the debts that we already have and the scramble for dollars in the market. Does it mean that we don't serve our customers? No, we have to create an environment where our teams get creative and innovate new products to serve customers even during this challenging time. And when you have teams that are thinking like entrepreneurs, they're not only selling your product, they are thinking with you in terms of the challenge that you're facing as a business to come up with a solution that cushions you during this time. And you'll remember that banker. They won't just be any bank. And that's why you'll get stuck to one relationship manager or one branch manager or a bank, because they anticipate your concerns, your challenges, and develop products that speak to you. So just alluding to, going back to what George said, you have to inspire teams. Not only come to work for a salary, but they should always go home feeling satisfied because they've created a solution for our customers. When I drive around Nairobi or any other town, I take pride in seeing businesses that are built from scratch. There are customers that I gave them the first 100,000 shillings. Now they've employed 100 people, 200 people, and that is my joy as a banker, seeing these businesses growing from strength to strength. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. For me and everybody in this business, we are all entrepreneurs, and as an entrepreneur, I always look for opportunities. Anything that goes right, anything that goes wrong, there's an opportunity there. And if you look at the business that I started several years back, it also started as an opportunity. I was fresh from my college. I just ended up meeting one banker like her. She said, we are a small bank and we want to computerize our system, but the systems that we are getting from India and America and Europe, they are extremely expensive. We are a small bank, we cannot afford. What was that? That was an opportunity for me. I said, not a problem. I never knew any banking. Honestly, never knew any banking. But my first answer to him was, but I knew programming a bit. So I said, yeah, why not we develop it here? And then the journey started. I went to him, they taught me how to do banking. Every day, I used to learn banking in the morning part, in the afternoon and the evening part. I'd come back home and start writing software to run that bank. So it was an opportunity. Then after some years, we saw banks are good, but there is also microfinances out there. Somebody from Kereb that time used to be one of the leading microfinances in the country. And microfinances, they are highly unorganized at that point. They had no systems, nothing. I saw again that as an opportunity, I did something. A couple of years back again, just before COVID, we saw an opportunity. Uber drivers were striking all around. You know, every time you go, Uber drivers are on strike, they are not paid well. What was that? That was an opportunity. When the dollar went down and people were not able to import, that was an opportunity for local companies. So every single business that we get in, as an entrepreneur, we always should focus on opportunities. Again, when COVID came in, people were not traveling around, so as little that provides transportation services to several corporates in the country, the businesses were going down. So what we did, we went to the government and says, can you give us a permit to have our taxis move around in the curfew hours? Because there was, people were not allowed to move from 7 in the evening, I think, till 5 in the morning. We were the only company, because nobody thought that is an opportunity. We went to government, we got the permit, and we then became the only taxi service provider in those hours. Our number of rides, where competition rides were going down, our number of rides were going up. So I think all I'm trying to tell you here is anything that comes in good or bad, there is always an opportunity. And grab that opportunity before somebody else grabs it, capitalize that, and then your business will grow.